Hi, it's Gigi, and it's time for a story. And I'm looking forward to having this opportunity to just kind of share with you two books. And we have been reading about Pete the Cat, and here are two more books by Pete the Cat. And as soon as we are finished with Pete the Cat, we will move into another great story that I hope you enjoy. So, the title of this book today, the first book, is Pete the Cat Got Class. Pete the Cat Got Class. Let's check it out. All right. I enjoy reading books to you, and I hope you enjoy hearing books. This book looks like comes with a huge poster. Check that out. It comes with a huge poster. Can you see that poster? How neat for a book to have a poster in it. Can you see that? Awesome. All right, let's read. Pete the Cat Got Class by James Dean. It's math time, says Pete teacher, Miss G. Pete the cat loves math. He loves how the numbers work together. If I add 3 red blocks and 4 yellow blocks together, how many blocks will we have in all, says Miss G. Pete raises his hand. I know the answer. I know the answer. 7 blocks, said Pete. 3 plus 4 equals 7. I hope you got that answer right too. Miss G asked the class a subtraction question. If I take 2 blocks away from 7 blocks, how many blocks will be left? Pete raises his hand, but the teacher calls on Tom. 9 blocks, says Tom. Pete feels bad for Tom. Tom is super smart. He can name all the dinosaurs. He just had trouble with math. Pete had an idea. He will help Tom because math is great and he can help Tom be an awesome person with math. Helping is cool. So Pete is going to help Tom learn his math. I know someone that's pretty awesome at math too. Trace. Trace is pretty awesome at math. And I know Tyson is pretty awesome at math. And I know that Jason is going to be awesome at math. And I know that for sure that Fletcher is going to be brilliant at math. Okay. On the bus home from school, Pete sits next to Tom. Do you want to come over to play? Tom asks. I got some cool new race cars for my birthday. Awesome, says Pete. We can do our math homework and then we can race the cars. I hate math, says Tom. You don't hate math, Pete tells Tom. You just don't love it yet. I like that word yet because yet gives us so many possibilities and we will overcome everything. So Pete set up some blocks. If I add 5 blue blocks and 3 orange blocks together, how many blocks will I have in all? 5 blue blocks and 3 orange blocks. How many blocks? This is boring, said Tom. Can we just play with my race cars? This gives Pete a great idea. Sure, we can play with your race cars, says Tom. And then he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This book is also neat because it has cards in it that you can tear out and separate. And all the cards have number pictures on them all the way to 10. So this book, if you're ever around, the first person to ask me about it get this book, get the poster and the cards to tear. So don't forget, Gigi has a book with special prizes in it. All right, Pete lines up some cars. If 5 red cars are going to the racetrack and 5 yellow cars are going to the car wash, how many cars are on the road? I know you brilliant grandchildren have the answer to that. 5 red cars on the road and 5 yellow cars on the road. How many? Is that an easy one? Tom thinks so. He said there are 10. But he said just like a traffic jam. Now, what if the 2 of the cars stayed home? Pete said. How many cars would be left? Said Tom, studying the line, looking at the cars. 8. There are 8 cars on the road. Right, said Pete. See, I told you that math is awesome. So Pete quizzes Tom on one more math problem after the next and the next. 4 cars minus 1, 3, says Tom. 8 cars plus 7, says Pete. 15, says Tom. I can't believe it. I'm doing math. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So Pete found a way to teach Tom math using his race cars. Pete and Tom do their homework. Let me know if you need any help, says Pete. Thanks, said Tom, but I know what I'm doing now. The next day, Pete hands in his homework, and Tom does too. After lunch, the teacher passes back their homework assignments, and Pete and Tom each got one wrong. They got one wrong. I'd like to see you two after class, says Miss G. You both know not to copy someone else's homework, says Miss G. We didn't copy, says Pete. You both got the exact same answer wrong, said Miss G. How can you prove that we got the answer on our own, says Tom. How can we prove that we got the answers and we didn't cheat on our homework? We didn't copy. I know, Pete tells him. Bring your race cars to school tomorrow. Why? Said Tom. You'll see, said Pete with a smile. The next day, Pete and Tom got to school early. What are all the race cars for, said Miss G. To show you that Tom got to be so good at math, says Pete. So he's going to show Miss G that Tom is smart. He knows math. Give Tom a math problem, says Pete. Any math problem. I'll get it right, says Tom, without Pete's help. So Miss G gives Tom one math problem after another, and Tom uses the race cars to get all the answers right. Wow, said Miss G. I'm impressed. Pete helped me by making math fun, says Tom. I think that's something we can all learn from Pete, says Miss G. Looked like Pete became a great teacher for Tom. Take it from Pete. Math is neat. Ah, look, they both got A's on their paper. That's an awesome book. Remember, you can always help someone. If you're good at something and you see someone else struggling, give them a hand. Give them an idea that they can use to be great too. Hope you enjoyed that story.